8 a.m. Saturday, November 16th, 2024. I woke up closer to like 7 something, but I've been trying to make the Streamlabs thing work again. What do I want? A positive response from people? Want, need. Like the first opening my eye, like some dream and stuff. I usually like to record my dreams. But I don't know. I woke up. It's like already gone. It wasn't that vivid or intense, I guess. And just like, I don't want to lose my home. And they put me in this position again. I feel like all of this is some kind of, I mean, if they're not trying to kill you, it is a psychological device to make you settle for something at some point. That like eventually someday you're gonna just be like, I don't know. Like shit will be worse and you're supposed to just not have anything to say. Because that's already what it's like. I don't want to lose my home. It's all I fucking have. I don't know what I'm supposed to fucking do right now. I think it's cruel bullshit that it's like everything is on them doing bogus shit since 2020. Management, whatever was inside and outside of the fucking building, nobody giving a fuck. I haven't done anything wrong. You put me in this like fucking terror zone and I've been surviving in it. That's what it's been like. There's no other like interpretation of events. Just period. It's been a nightmare that I've lived through. And they just want to like fuck with you some more. I don't believe them that they even like just don't understand. That you have to just explain it all again. Tell me again. Tell me again your fucking trauma. Tell me again how shitty this has been for you. Tell me again what a nightmare. It's like they're enjoying it. They wanted you to have a fucking nightmare. You won't paint them as fucking heroes who are just, I'm so grateful that like people were ever at the last second when they had plenty of like more understanding than I ever did about how anything was. Like, they didn't kick me out on the street. Thank you so much. When you're the one that put me in the position in the first place. You fucked me over and fucked me over. And fucked me over some more. Like 3 different sets of management. Income property management was the first one. They gave me paperwork to keep me housed. They signed me up for assistance programs during the pandemic. Right? They were also getting sued out the ass for how they were treating other people in other buildings. Somehow now they've linked up with something called like Relay Response. And they do like low-income housing special shit somewhere else that I don't know that I can even like look to for help. Like email them for help. I think they were a bigger company than the other 2 that followed after them. I'm not sure how to feel about them, their management or anything. I don't know. I know that I was like, I mean, the sense of like being held on the edge of a cliff, I thought that was mostly coming from like a government level through the pandemic. You know, it's somebody did not let this be like a nice, smooth. I have had to worry I was going to get evicted every fucking month before the pandemic. They'd give me 72-hour notices but tell me I could ignore them. But they still gave me the notice anyway, even though they knew it was bogus and that they had worked something out. I could never get my paycheck at the first of the month. I always ended up with a paycheck at the end of the month to give them all the rent since 2015. Like, so I lived here for 5 years like that. I don't know. Instead of like signing you up for more services or whatever is out there to be signed up for, it's kind of like did the bare minimum, but they kept you alive, right? They made these people work between, and it's like Innovative Housing Inc. and Income Property Management, like team together. So between the two of them, you got bus tickets and food boxes and cleaning supplies. There was never a problem about taking out the fucking trash. I didn't seem anyone was like super up your ass about anything. They would tell me that other units were way more fucked up than yours were, because I was holding myself to like a school standard of cleaning. It was way better to like before. Yeah, what could have been better is like something from Innovative Housing side. Like maybe they could have done more shit to make sure that you stayed housed without fear. But it was sort of, it's kind of like it was like a joke or something. Because she told me straight out, you know, most of the people here have their rent paid for. By what? I don't know. Like, there's 1,001. Like, I don't know that they had this common application thing back before 2020. It's just like, I mean, there could have been more resources, I guess. I didn't know about the pantry until a couple years after I moved in here. They didn't give me the discounted bus pass until like 2018 or something. Like stuff that maybe it should have been top of mind the first thing when you moved in. Here's a list. We get you a discounted bus pass. We get you on food stamps. We make sure that we sign you up for every rent assistance thing under the fucking sun. I was still going to work, but like, you know, if they had just done something that could like buffer the second paycheck or whatever for 5 years, it would have saved me like a ton of stress. It's like they didn't want to save you stress. They wanted to build up the stress. Like, I don't know that they liked me. The one guy helped pay for a phone, and I paid him back. Like, the first thing I did when I got money, I gave him money for the fucking phone, and I didn't talk to him again. Well, I could have gotten a phone through food stamps, and maybe that would have maybe been better instead of like some idea of dependency. And I didn't even just think of that till now. Oh yeah, well, I was working and I got so much. I think at one point I had like $28 in food stamps when I was on food stamps, and there was some weird thing before. They had like different rules before the pandemic about it that they've changed now. I don't know what the fuck that was about. That might not have anything to do with the building, but there was like some different thing. Like, I mean, I'm not saying they didn't do anything, and there's a lot I should be grateful for, but like maybe I don't even realize how much they kind of like fucked me over. They could have helped like 10 times more than they did. I mean, yeah, even like moving in just to Milepost 5 before this, the same thing. Like the idea that we were starving for like a year or something, eating potatoes somebody left in the kitchen, and nobody was like, why don't you guys sign up for like this or that? Go, or here's the pantries, or like, it's like they treated us like we were stupid, and it was funny, I think. They would have known where every service was for every imaginable thing in town. Like, at some point, somebody told me that you'd be stupid to go hungry in Portland. Like, and he was homeless. It was a guy who was homeless. Yeah, I just didn't even know what kind of services were services. I was coming out of, like, I guess, yeah, it's like you have a rich kid environment or something, but I was poor. I was poor. Like, I don't know what the fuck. My mom eats at soup kitchens. My dad was on disability and food stamps. And my mom's on disability too. I mean, what do I have to prove? Like, I'm poor. You could have, but you, like, acted like I was some kind of, like, oh, this is gonna be funny to watch her suffer. She's probably just had, like, a house in the suburbs her whole life. And, like, that's not even funny, right? It's just not very, like, yeah, whatever community is supposed to mean. I dropped, like, 100 pounds when I moved here. Somebody came to visit and they said I was half my size. I mean, I'm trying to quantify it for you. Like, it was like a serious thing. And yeah, that the effect that has on your ability to think and write a book and like whatever the fuck. Nobody cares. Well, whatever. Maybe that's why everything sucks. Well, I'm getting mad right now because I'm looking back on the entire arc of, like, all the years you've been here, and it's like as if, like, if it was a school or a program or something, they, like, always make you homeless. At some point, they're going to make you fucking homeless. You're either going to move away or they're going to make you homeless. Those were, like, the only two options. That's why I'm pissed off. I don't see another option. There needs to be one. But yeah, and then that was income property management. They left sometime in like 2021 or something, and we got Pinehurst, which was, well, first for income property management, I had a job in 2016 that wanted me to sign a non-disclosure agreement after they let me go. They were going to give me $1,040, and part of the agreement said I couldn't sue their lessees that rent in their building, which included the fire and police, TriMet, and income property management that was like running my building. It's as if like they had done that to me to bind me. I mean, and the way that, like, I mean, well, that's how the cookie crumbled, whether it was on purpose or not. They gave me a job where the guy just, like, kind of fucked with me the whole time and made it weird. Made you look like, yeah, to an outsider, you probably look like a stupid bitch. I think they wanted you to look like a stupid bitch. Why did that suit them? Everybody's friends. What would it have taken to, like, hey, like, this isn't even a job. You know, let's have her. I cleaned the sinks mostly, like the beginning of the music video for No Halo by Sorority Noise. There's water running in a sink and the sinks are overflowing. That was like my job every day for like so many floors in a giant building. To clean, and it was like someone was doing that. Or taking a cup and pouring water all over the sink. Every day. They would tell me the sinks were tilted or something that made the water collect or some shit. Like, just came up with some bullshit excuse. People would wipe their ass and have dirty toilet paper on the floor. Which, yeah, I feel like they went ahead of time and fucked everything up just to give me something to do. Like, it wasn't even a real job. And then you spent the rest of the day, at first it was like, don't touch me. And then it was like, we're hanging out like we're friends. And then it was like, don't touch me again. And then we ended up getting fired. Or at least they said they fired him. Watching movies like The Quest for Fire, which is like a caveman movie. They fuck each other in the woods, and then he goes on a quest for fire. Like it's like the setup of society is to just go up to some woman and fuck her, and people have babies, and they have like a community taking care of these like random babies. He goes on a quest for fire. There's no dialogue, and then finds this other girl who like teaches him to fuck her, looking her in the face. Like, it's romantic. It's like as if like I needed to teach people to like have sex with you like that, because this is like caveman shit. And like banging each other on the head and laughing about it, caveman shit. I mean, I'm like, either like, are you trying to tell me that's what I'm stuck in, or like you picked this movie to watch at work? Like, and like a couple episodes of Gunsmoke. And I keep getting that, like, you're like my granddad that I never had, like, because it was two guys, an older guy and a guy that just turned 50. The older guy must have been getting into his 70s. He was going to retire soon or something. The younger guy was like hitting on me and stuff from day one, like called me cute in the interview. It was all this big shit about how I had to take the job because it was offered and I was on unemployment, and you have to accept a job offer if you're given. And I didn't know how to fight that. Like, I could have, like, now I know, I could have written to them and said, I feel like the guy was hitting on me. I don't want to take the job. But I didn't know that at the time. And I thought, like, I'm going to lose my unemployment and not have a job. And I'm going to lose my housing. So I take, and then it's like, they had me wait. Like, I found out that they were smoking weed at work. And they wanted me to wait my 90 days. And it was like Thanksgiving when he like gave me weed. And it was like all this like nice gesture. Like, I needed it. It's medicine for me. Like, is it to say it's okay? Because I was like totally, I didn't have anything in my system and stuff. I didn't have any weed. Because I had been looking for jobs, and I thought like now I know that most places, even if they give me a drug test, they don't even test for weed. Because it's like such a common, no one cares. They're psycho if they care about weed. Or it's a specific kind of job, like where, you know, they don't want you to crash a truck into a kid. But I was cleaning off sinks, like, anyway, well, and if you crash a truck into a kid, they'll blame the weed. That's why they're like, whatever about it. Yeah, it was a gray area that you could have like worked on fleshing out, but you're too busy being like terrorized. Anyway, so and then it became this thing, like, I mean, we're going to the dispensary at work. I clean the sinks off and we go to the dispensary afterwards. Like, I thought it was like so Portland. And it was like more like, so the guy is like slowly trapping you into his little like universe. Because I mean, if you can't, what are you supposed to fucking do? I feel like he took advantage. I'm not saying he didn't rape me, but like when I told a therapist about this thing he did, the therapist said it was rapey, like rape like. I had asked him not to touch me, and he grabbed my thumb like that, and it's like, what, like this? And like held my hand in his truck. Outside right here. I mean, the idea that this was all on some kind of like public display even, and his fucking friends were like looking at you guys, and you didn't even realize it. I mean, it's been a nice little like TV show for people. Just wanted to own the libs. Just wanted to drag a bitch down. It was like the same year as the Kavanaugh trial and stuff. Before he was appointed as a fucking Supreme Court justice. I don't think that's a coincidence. Yeah, and it was me drawing the line and saying like stuff has to stop. And he went up to the office, came back down, said he had told him that I was causing discord in his office. And which now I don't know if that's another joke. Everything is like some kind of fucking double joke or something. And if I just like said, you know, this happened, whatever, it would be a slap on the wrist, a file in a folder, and we would move on with our day, which I knew meant like, oh, all of a sudden your job is going to change, like, and how gross it is to clean stuff up. You're going to lose any, like, he's just going to like fuck with you now because you won't let him fuck with you anymore. Well, yeah, it was. I feel like that's like, we're gonna have like a really nice, fun place if you do everything I say. And it's gonna be a really shit place if you don't. That. And the point was like then they tried to have me sign this non-disclosure agreement with the leases and stuff. I didn't sign it. I got unemployment. I was the official reason I was granted unemployment was because they didn't fire the other guy. Like he, you know, and I didn't want them to fire him or anything. He was like, as far as I know, he was nice and not creeping on me or being weird or like, he was being like a granddad more than trying to use you as like a backup doll in case his like relationship fell apart or something. But because they hadn't fired him, they gave me unemployment. Because it was like, well, that's not. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, and also this idea of like fucking up the weed industry, because like that's what that. Again, like somebody's like constantly trying to fuck it up. I think he even grew his own weed and stuff, so I wonder how much that's like a factor. They don't want to go through the testing labs. They didn't care if it was legal. Like, I mean, because I'm just trying to put together some idea of like what the fuck is going on here. You have people that grew weed, they probably sold it. Now they're not making any money because people go to the dispensary. They're not opening their own dispensary. They're not getting their shit tested. They're mad about it. So they're just like, fuck you to the industry and keep doing shit that's like looks bad on the industry or something. Because someone else at another job specifically said to me, they liked it better when weed was illegal. Like, this does make sense, even though it sounds horrible and stupid. Because, like, why would you backtrack on all of the medicine, all of the good, like, way to be a bro? Like, that's so fucked up. But it's like, if they can control this naturally, it's like, if it was literally dopamine. I mean, maybe this is like sci-fi story stuff, but if it was literally the molecule or whatever, the dopamine, and then they tried to like package it and sell it and control it, and you can only have dopamine if they say so, like, would you understand? Like, yeah, of course you can get literally dopamine from a lot of sources, including like coffee and stuff and chocolate and like, but you know, weed has some special properties that were like helping my body. It's not taken seriously enough for people to they're too absorbed in some Cheech and Chong, which is funny, but like in their brain it's all like Cheech and Chong stuff, and you're just kind of like a joke. I think in the movie 50-50, it's like a Seth Rogen movie with that, like, I don't know how many people even saw that movie. I don't remember it being very good, but the guy gets cancer and I think he uses weed. There's the documentary Weed the People where they give RSO to kids, and one of the kids died still, but the other ones were like, did have positive results from using RSO. And that's, you know, the extreme exceptional circumstance where you give weed to kids because they have cancer. And it's not just like, you're not smoking pot. It's RSO. It is like a concentrated edible. It's not just like chilling with your friends. Well, anyway, the point of this was like property management getting like a conflict of interest thing. So you had IPM, conflict of interest with that job. Then the next property management was Pinehurst. Conflict of interest with another job where I worked as a desk monitor. People were constantly yelling at me about having to, it was weird. And I asked management to not do this. I think I did as much as I could to like stop this weird thing, and I couldn't stop it, where I had to check their IDs into their own apartment building, and sign them into their own apartment building and keep lists every day of when these people were like in and out of their own building. It made no sense. I don't believe you that fucking thing is turning off like that. I have to get up to turn that thing back on like maybe twice a day, and I've had to do it like 5 times now. I don't know what the fuck. And yeah, you had people there saying like, this is like Nazi Germany and you're an oppressor. I was like, bitch, I'm Jewish. Like, excuse me? Yeah, as if that absolves everything. But, like, I mean, that was my response. Like, I probably care more about the Holocaust than you do. Like, what? Yeah, right. That's, like, again, like some big joke forever. Like, and this is, like, 2019. This is before COVID, before the Black Lives Matter protests, before all of this stuff. And it was, like, the beginning of 2019. So, and it was for a company called Cascade Management. This will be important in a minute. And then Cascade Management was turning the building over to Pinehurst. And when that happened, Pinehurst said they weren't going to take me on. Like the day before. They just weren't going to take me. They were going to take everybody else, but not me. Like, and I got unemployment from like May until August. And then in August, I got the job cleaning at a brewery place. I talked about that last night more. When and like the and just talked about like the history of alcohol use in my life and stuff. Yeah, something about Budweiser, and then finding out that they sold that place to a cannabis company was kind of interesting. I didn't know that till last night in 2023. Anyway, yeah, it's like pick a topic. You want to talk about like your life through the lens of mold, alcohol, cannabis, people fucking with you, religion, poverty, mental health and wellness. Like pick a topic and you could like just go through your whole life again just with that. Grades in education, like fashion even maybe, and tell the story of your life just focusing on those subjects. And yeah, as a like example of things for everybody. It's not just like, oh, I am so important. You know, it's trying to tell you something about the world, not just me. Any fucking way. So Pinehurst didn't take me on for work. And then in 2021 or something, or 2022, they were running this building. They took a year's worth of rent. It feels like the place was like completely like there's still stains on the carpet in the hallway. I think they've been there since 2020 though. I mean, I think the general abandonment started in 2020. Somebody broke into the building and stole all the keys. Somebody got killed in the building with a vacuum. It was in the news and I didn't find out till like 2 years later. Yeah, all of the fire alarms going off 30 times with no reason. I think that shit started in 2020. And that was under income property management still. It was given to Pinehurst. And then now, since like March or something, it's been this new Polina place that has this like Hawaiian vibe. I mean, I think it's just because the one lady, I don't even know what their connection to Hawaii is. She just writes mahalo in her emails. Harvey, the guy, the boss, like had a house in Hawaii. So like, just how Hawaiian is your Hawaii connection? Or are you just a white person kind of exploiting this like to seem community based and cool, like, but you're kind of full of shit, like. Yeah, there's also some like awful joke about like sending people on a plane trip to Hawaii and it's like they died. Yeah, look at the video Vacation Town. What else can I explain that like that was like this weird theme of like set going to Hawaii, but it's like, yeah, the airplane over the sea, or I'm sorry, well that a little bit, but by Neutral Milk Hotel, but the song At the Bottom of Everything by Bright Eyes. Like there's some connection to like taking a flight someplace, but you don't really make it. Yeah, there was a woman that came back from a trip to Spain and she had a heart attack. Like that really happened. That used to live at another building I lived at. It just became this kind of like scary idea, I guess. But anyway, but it says online that the lady that runs the Polina thing used to work for Cascade Management, the people before Pinehurst. And so it's like they're all kind of like interconnected parts. And like I feel like a monster, and like that's also why you didn't get, is that why you didn't get housing for all? There's too many people working in this thing that depends on, you don't just give somebody an apartment and leave them the fuck alone. Like, call in a maintenance request and that's it. They have to have like a whole like system of, yeah, there's also that sense of like caretakers and somebody disabling you so that now they have a job to take care of you. It's really like nefarious. You didn't need them before. Now all of a sudden you need people you didn't need. I think that covers all of it. And now, I mean, they could switch again. I don't know what the fuck to do. Oh, and I mean, to top it off, I communicated to them that I thought I should be at a different, like, income level thing. There's like 30%, 50%, 60%, and then like full market rate. And most of the units in this building are supposed to be people that are in those percentages, and only like 10 of the 62 are supposed to be full market rate apartments. It's like a deliberately mixed, which maybe is like an awful idea. You thought, oh, you'll have a rich neighbor and then people can just like humanize and know each other or something. It feels like a rich guy stalks you because you're poor. They end up in like this weird little room that isn't even a room. They don't even actually have to live here. So like they rented an office in the middle of a hallway and with their door open, and they fucked with everybody else that lived here who was actually poor. Then picked their favorites and gave special things to who they liked and played little fucking games with your life, which they would not have access to you if you weren't poor. That's what it looks like. It's just really hard to explain that. But I think I should have been at 30%. I made $19,996 1 year. And every year I've made less than that. So I should have been like paying a couple $100 less for my apartment, really, the whole time I've lived here. Which would definitely cover whatever the fuck you're saying I owe them. Yeah, the idea, you're trapped in something as a renter forever anyway. It doesn't matter how much money you pour into the fucking, you never get to have a home. Because you started poor, you're never gonna not be poor. It's like being a girl and how much money I'm gonna have to spend on pads. It's just like, fuck you because of something you have no control over. And the idea that this place knew every word you needed to say about housing and somehow like isn't still doing the good things makes no fucking sense. There's some gum in the works and I can't figure out what the fuck the gum is. Delulu DM Hollow with a question mark. Halo. Are you asking me about Halo? Like the game? I mean, is that even like a real... Are you just trying to interrupt me, or are you actually asking me a question? I'm asking you about you are... No, I'm asking you about you are real. I don't understand. Are you just saying hello, or are you asking me about halos? Sorry, haha. Okay. Yeah, it's just interrupting stuff. Good thing, yeah, I think I finished most of my train of thought. I don't know, like, but whatever. I can't think if I did or not because, like, where you are, what is this magical place? I'm in my bedroom. That I live in a studio apartment, so the whole thing is a bedroom. I live in a box. It's a light. Yeah, I think it's awesome too. I mean, the point of this entire thing is, like, I'm not trying to lose my housing. It's all I have. And then they're putting me at risk of eviction again. Human rights. See, like, if I write them an email and I say Article 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights says you have a right to housing, which it does. Like, that's all very cool of you and stuff, but, like, you know, they dismissed me when I told them I was being harassed. Like, you think they're... How much do they give a fuck about my well-being, really? More than their own? No. Yeah, you could say, well, no one's going to care more about you than their own well-being. Yeah, but it's like you took on a building to manage. It's like, I didn't pick this. This is my home. Where the fuck do you live? Like, what's the arrangement where you fucking live that you, like, you could just stomp in and, like, take somebody else's home and not, like, know how fucked that is? That makes no sense to me. I never made anybody homeless. I never took anybody's fucking home. What, they just want to give you a masterclass in people being an asshole from Trump all the way down to, like, the personal level? My body can't even handle it. Like, yeah, and the gross idea that they've made a world where the only, like, somebody is going to make you do shit you would never do, or they're gonna try to, and you're gonna tell them to fuck themselves, and you're not joining their little fucking weird club of, like, evil shit. Don't get in a car with anybody. Don't go to anybody's house. You're not sucking anybody's dick. You're never going to kill somebody. You're not going to go target an individual and fuck with them. I don't drive big, heavy pieces of machinery. I didn't want to do that before 2020 because I just heard the bus make like a fart sound. Like I never wanted to be a bus driver, even if I thought about working the garbage truck services before they started harassing me with them. I was like, I could be an assistant. I get out and I pull out the garbage cans and get back into the thing. I'm not driving some big ass truck thing. I don't feel good right now. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. And like they're gonna try. They don't understand germs or science enough, and they're gonna throw you outside and laugh about it. If you died, they wouldn't even know. Like, they wouldn't even hear about it. And you communicated with them for years. The idea that they're dead, like the Innovative Housing Inc. person, 'cause they have not responded to a damn thing for a really long time. And then realizing that the new people had a different email address. I don't know what that's called, the part that's like at whatever. They had a new one than the ones in the past ever had. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But maybe they're like, they literally abandoned everything. I don't know. All I can, like, the people that have shown up at my door were white. They were like as white as they come. There's nothing about them that signals to me that they have indigenous background. And yeah, I could be, you know, it's about like more than that, but like just on the surface level, or they're Hawaiian or something, or like, I don't know, some context, then they're just like same old people that you. Well, it's not like, oh, America is going land back to people and you're just like getting in the way of something. No. They must be like faking it and they're white. I don't think there's any native populations that are really coming around and like finding ways to fuck somebody over and out of their housing so that they can like claim land back. And I couldn't give a fuck about some Aryan ass whites only thing. You can shove it up your butt. Like, yeah, it's fuck supremacy. Like any kind of supremacy. I'm a millennial. What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, we grew up with Sesame Street. Yeah, so did the Gen X too. But like, it's like Gen X has this like apathy thing that millennials, like, just had a little more hope or something. Well, whatever. I guess I'm gonna stop the stream on that. It's 8:50 in the morning. Yeah, housing is a human right. But how many times and how many ways? What's a new way to say this? What is a new way to, like, violence and tragedy and terror doesn't change shit. It just makes people scared and mad at you. Make an art project. Make something delightful and fancy. How I'm supposed to do what to make you get how this is bad when I'm, like, suffering? It's like, I'm suffering. Let me make them a cake that says housing for all on it. Like, there's the America is a haunted house story idea. But that's supposed to be like, if you imagine it like a movie, the people go through this, like, haunted house, and literally every room is like a historical tragedy. And then, like, telling the story of America. Yeah, Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States, almost like, but in, like, a haunted house form. Yeah, so write a story. Yeah, okay. I'll get, like, on my phone, while I have, like, days ticking away, like, I need money, like, right now. I think they just keep wanting to put you in this position to need money, like, right now, because that's what made other people do, like, stupid shit that no one should do. And I refuse. Je refuse. What am I supposed to do? Yeah, I don't even have, like, access to the world of whatever the fuck people do. Like, they steal something and sell it. Like, I don't steal stuff. I don't know what I own that I could sell that's not just, like, giving up my stuff, and I don't even have enough money anyway. And then I have to, like, let strangers come into the building and make sure they paid me and give them my stuff. Like, I don't even... Yeah, the idea... I bought a bunch of wigs, and I genuinely thought maybe I could, like, redesign the wigs so that, like they're fancy. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to, like, learn how to do it and then produce something that's, like, something you'd pay $100 for. I just don't have time. I just need an assistance program. I don't know how much, like, if you do a GoFundMe and it goes directly to your rent, you don't get, like, any of the fucking money. Do you still end up, like, fucking up your food stamps? Because then I don't have money to eat. Like, I'll starve to death. But they got their fucking oh so necessary money. Like, whatever I do, it has to go, like, directly to them. Like, I don't get the money. Because then it's not income. It's just, like, assistance payments. I think if they give it to me and it's specifically for rent and goes to it, I think that might be fine. But it's not like you sell a bunch of stuff that you could use the money for whatever, and then, like... Yeah, there's some, like, gray area there. And I think they'd, like, let it go for 5 months without trying to help me at all, because it would be so much money they'd fuck you. Or what I'm supposed to, if they're nice about it at the last second, I'm supposed to think they're really nice people. They wouldn't have given me this notice at all if they were really nice people. I don't intend on doing their job, so I don't know what the fuck somebody expects me to do. I can't interact with people, so I can't have a job, like, gonna go sit in the office and have one person after another fucking come to me with their issues. I haven't left my apartment for 4 fucking years. I haven't had interactions for 4 fucking years. I haven't literally left my unit for 1 solid year, but I haven't left, like, or had interactions for 4 years. I don't know what's, yeah, they just aren't gonna care. I can't help that you don't understand, like, enough to care. I'm not dumb. I shouldn't have to get out. Someone's been fucking with me to, like, leave my home for years. Fuck them and their friends. Yeah, I mean, if you wait in here long enough, maybe they'll grow the fuck up. Yeah, and someone just, like, what is the thing that scares these white people? They're gonna pretend it's that. Like, I have to, like, circumnavigate all sorts of stupid shit. I'm like, who's the big bad thing that fucked up your whole life? It's a bunch of white cops, it looks like to me. Yeah, they don't, well, I didn't pick your job. The idea that you didn't stand up for rights more in light of 2020 is part of why it's so, like, oh, they must be right about you. You guys, like, leaned into it. You made coins and got challenge points or some shit for beating the crap out of protesters. So, like, everything that people are saying, they're right. I mean, prove them wrong by being, like, so awesome. And instead, what happened? Like, someone wants to kick you in the face and steal all your stuff. Yeah, I think if you're, like, a genuinely good cop, you understand what ACAB means. And you're not mad. You're not going to retaliate against people. That's, like, how you know that somebody has, like, a brain of their own. They, like, get it. And, yeah, that's the ultimate, like, they're going to send a cop to your door, and the cop is going to kill you. And then everybody acts like they can wash their hands clean of all the shit that they just did. They breathe a sigh of relief. What? This is their fault. It's like 9 a.m.